let's go ahead and bring in the mayor of Keego Harbor, Brian Lampl. He is now, Brian, I will say, I always get confused over who's the mayor. Is this your first stint as the mayor? Because I know you've been on council before.
I've been on council. This will be my third year on council. This is my first year as the mayor of Keego Harbor. We typically rotate each year, so there's somebody usually new or somebody you've seen before, but we rotate through council.
So since we've been here, I think it's been Sid Rubin, obviously Kelman, and now you, and I think Yoder was even the mayor. So can I just call you Mayor for? Because I feel like you're all mayors. Despite the title, you all are working for all of us here, the residents of Keego.
Absolutely. We each operate as a council, as a total. The mayor is obviously the chief executive officer of the city, but we each have one vote on council, and we operate as a cohesive council for the betterment of the city.
So before we jump into the politics of Keego Harbor, can I just ask you, what's it been like for you in the middle of a pandemic to not only be the member of an elected position, but to be mayor, but also people don't really realize you guys are paid a lot for this position.
No, sure that the compensation isn't really monetarily speaking. It's less than $150 a year, most of which I donate back to the city, to the Garden Club, if not all of it. But it's a challenging time. I think people throughout our community, throughout the state, and obviously the greater country, been dealing with the pandemic, and I think it's presented some challenges. Fortunately, as a municipality, we were in really great shape heading into the pandemic financially. We had done some upgrades to our technology, so our computer equipment at City Hall, servers, desktop, those kinds of things, some portable computers. So it really set us up for being able to deal with the pandemic in terms of, we have obviously doing more things via Zoom. More things are being done remotely. So making sure that we had those core things so we could continue to provide services to our residents, I think was really, it was very fortunate that we got that all up and running about the year before.
Timing, right? Perfect timing.
Yeah.
We're talking with Brian Lampl. He is the mayor for the City of Keego Harbor. And with that, Brian, too, over the past year, I think there has been a lot of focus, sometimes for the first time, on really the important position that our elected leaders have played in helping us navigate this pandemic, especially as small business owners within the community, but also when it comes down to simple things such as, for us in Keego, it was opening the parks last year and the beaches on Cass Lake. What's that experience been like for you?
I think that we're, uniquely positioned to be able to help our residents through this. I mean, our city staff is small but dedicated. We've been looking for grant opportunities and other things to avail of to help our local businesses, to help us keep things moving. We were the recipient of about $125,000 of CARES money through the federal government, through Oakland County. 50,000 of that went to our restaurants and bars to be able to provide them with some, much needed ability to expand their outdoor dining during the winter months. So you may have seen some of the greenhouses. We provided propane tanks, propane heaters, electrostatic sprayers so they could disinfect. I mean, we've been trying to do what we can to help offset some of the hardship. And I think what we've seen is, while of course there are stories all across the country, I think, we've seen people come together in the community to help one another. And I think that's, it's been great to be able to be a part of that and help facilitate that.
Even more so, I think, when we are in a small community, such as Keego, it really is about supporting so many of these local businesses. But sadly, we have seen some, I'm not sure what exactly is going on with Bosco's, which is such a popular place here in Keego. I know that there are foodies throughout Oakland County, and that was one of the things when they're in this area, they're going to Bosco's, but they have not reopened throughout this pandemic. But then right across the street, we have a new place that is kind of re-energizing what used to be Rocket Eddie's, and I think it was Zibbles, but never really got off the ground. So how hard is it, and what are you doing to try to help new businesses coming into Kegel?
Well, I think, we've been looking at some of our operational things internally to help through the permit process and to be able to get through our boards and commissions at the planning commission level. We're undertaking, I'm sure you're familiar with the Tifa District Master Plan that we've been looking at, and that would revitalize the Cass Lake corridor. So our Tifa district is from Cass Lake Road up until a small sliver of Orchard Lake Road. So we've really focused on this master plan to be able to look at different ways that we can invigorate the area, which I think will attract additional people to come and to want to put their businesses there. I mean, this is the first time we're really doing placemaking as an economic development tool. So, we've seen over the years, obviously, you can see vacancies, vacant land, vacant storefronts. And I think that, using placemaking and using this ability to create and activate public spaces will actually help our local businesses quite a bit.
So we do want to invite, for so many people that live in Keego Harbor, if you just go to the city's website, there's a link there for you to take the survey. I may or may not take it a more than one time because I feel like my voice overshadows my husband's voice. But with that, it looks exciting. And I feel like our community could be on the brink of being something different. But we also know we live in the Harbor Village subdivision, and when we bought in, there was a city master plan back then, like 15 years ago, that included, when we talk about the mobile home community, I know that's kind of a touchy subject here in Keego, but that was supposed to be redeveloped 15 years ago. So for people that kind of buy into this community thinking it's on the brink of being something bigger and better, what is the realistic timeline, and is that going to happen? Because we're here and it hasn't happened, and we lost the other coffee shops. Like we used to have the Big B's here. That's how long I've been here.
I think that, we look at the master plan, the original master plans that we've done over the years, and I was a part of that when I was on the planning commission, this last one that we did before this Tifa district master plan. And we did outline certain areas, and we did designate things that we'd like to see, and that's what our future land use map is about. But this master plan initiative is a little different. This is on the heels of a study that was done by the Gibbs Planning Group for retail and residential housing. And it showed the real opportunity that's available to us in this area. And this master plan will help us with a blueprint in order to move those forward. So one of the things, for instance, the difference between the master plans we've done where we've outlined what we'd like to see, this master plan will provide us with overlay codes that we can put in so that we can help to change the look and feel of buildings, that we can entice people who want to come in and utilize different best practices that are currently out there. And so I don't want to say we failed at it in terms of that, but this is a really a completely different endeavor. And one of the things that, council wanted to make sure, the city council wanted to make sure, was a few things. One is that we engage the community and have their buy-in, that we, to move this forward. So we asked those questions in the survey, do you even want to see Cass Lake Road changed? And if you do want to see it changed, how would you like to see it changed? And so we had about 300 responses to that, and most actually want to see this change happen. But in addition to that, The boards and commissions, we spoke with TIFA, which is the Tax Increment Finance Authority board, and the Planning Commission. And we had a joint meeting and we said, okay, here's what we're looking to do. We're looking to engage in this master plan initiative. How do you feel about it? And is this something that you're going to help us with, to help us pass those ordinances? I mean, there are a lot of moving parts to this. And so I think that, the commitment from City Council, from our Planning Commission, and from our TIFA board, I think is extremely important, as well as our buy-in from the stakeholders in the community. And I think that'll be the difference between separating what you've seen in the past and that lag. So we could see some real changes in the next 3 to 5 years, certainly.
And let's hope by that time we are out of the pandemic and
Yes.
businesses start to rebound. And
Yes.
we know that construction has been hit right now because the cost of lumber is so high. So let's hope that as this all starts to actually come to realization, that some of those barriers that could be in place right now because of COVID-19 are no longer there. We're talking with Brian Lampl. He is the mayor for the City of Keego Harbor. You're listening to 89.3 WBLD, 88.1 WBFH. And with that, Mayor, just another minute or two with you here, because we do know one of the great things about Keego, our waterways and our parks. We're going into the summer season. Any new development or anything new on the front there that you want to remind people of?
Well, we have about 9 parks throughout the city and two public swim sites. Parks and Rec, during this time, we haven't planned any city-sponsored events, and there's quite a lead time before turning those events into, reality. So we'll be looking at doing more city-sponsored events in the coming months. City Council will review that. Parks and Rec has been really focused on improving beautifying our parks around the city. We have about 20 trees coming in the next couple of weeks that we'll be putting in and to help beautify things. The last year we put in some new playground equipment, and the city is using community development block grant funds for Rose Sorter Park to make it ADA compliant. So there'll be a ramp going into the gazebo and paving some of those pathways for helping to navigate. So, we've been using this time very strategically, I think, to be able to help to spur things along, make our city, improve the quality of lives, beautify the parks, those kinds of things.
So I know there are no citywide events, but one of the popular things here in Keego and Sylvan Lake is the citywide initiative on the garage sales over Memorial Day weekend. Do you anticipate those are still going to happen? Hard to say because they're really private, right?
Yeah, it's hard to say. They're private. Obviously, private events and things are still being done within the community, and those people that want to avail of that, certainly. We took the position to prioritize health and safety over this time, and so as I said, it's just difficult to just then turn and ramp up immediately. So
well, Mr. Mayor, before we let you go, what's the new name of the old Eddie Rockets? Do you know yet?
I don't know the name of it. I know that it's a burger slider kind of place, but I think they only had a working title when they came when they came before the Planning Commission. I'm not sure what it is.
Okay, I think that title was what, J&L Burgers or something like that.
Something like that.
Just because I'm a geek, and so I went on and watched your planning commission meetings about it. So I know some neighbors aren't happy that they want to be open until 3 a.m. And if they can find the staff to be open till 3 a.m., bless their hearts. So again, we're talking with Brian Lampl. He's the mayor for the city of Keego Harbor. Again, we're going into the summer season. Anything about the waterways? We know that Cote is very well known here on Cass Lake in monitoring the waterways as we go into the summer season.
We will have our marine patrols out this year, as we usually do, and we're looking at different ways of improving that. to make sure that everybody is able to enjoy the lake safely, and if everyone can utilize it properly.
So as you go into your planning commission for the future of Keego, I will say parking. For us
Yeah,
that live in
yeah,
Keego, we can't really go to the lake because there's no place to park. So it makes it a little bit difficult. But if I'm always like, can I swap with someone if they want to come to the trail? They can park at my house if I can park at their house to go to the lake. Oh,
yes, parking has remained a challenge, and we are looking at trying to figure out ways that we can improve that as we revitalize the Cass Lake Road corridor.
Brian Lampl with us here on the MegaCast. Mr. Mayor, anything maybe I didn't ask that you want to touch on before we say goodbye?
No, I think we've covered things. I appreciate the opportunity to be on here. Thank you.
And I will say, invest in Keego. We're a hidden gem in
We are.
this arena, but we don't want it to get too big. But but we still like it. So thank you again, Mr. Mayor, for being with us.
Thank you.